So that will bring us to our top 5 for the week, which is the top 5 emotional moments in the UFC. Michael Bisping, you're the champ.
I am a guy that's always emotional, and I remember when I saw this GSP UFC 56, he just beat Sean Sherk, and then he did quite an emotional plead for a title shot. And I remember seeing this at the time, and it's maybe not one of the most emotional things, but it stood out in my mind.
Please,
he
give
dropped
me the
his
chance
knees,
for the belt.
He begged for a shot at the belt, and that was definitely pre-USADA looking at that. And yeah, in at number 5, there we go, GSP. Number 4, oh God, I was there front row for this. Anderson broke his leg, and the reason it was so emotional because, as I say, I was front row, and Anderson was on the stretcher, and when he came past me, the howl of agony and pain it was haunting. I'll never forget it.
Wow.
He was screaming at the top of his voice. There it is. That was probably a foot away from it, and he was screaming. Yeah, a foot away. it was a good knee length. Oh, look at this. Bisping versus Silva. I had to throw myself in there because I'm a narcissist, but this was, for me, so emotional. I was actually crying afterwards. I always wanted to fight Anderson. A lot of people wrote me off, yada, yada, yada. We've heard it all before, but there we are. I won the fight. It was a tough fight. My face fell to pieces, and there we go. Bisping being a crybaby again. This one was hard. BJ Penn, Frankie Edgar 3. BJ, everybody loves BJ. He's such a legend of the sport for so long. He went out there, you know, he had the wrong game plan, and then, you know, he was upset with himself, and he retired, and then really it was afterwards at the press conference, you know, he broke down, he was very emotional, and that was certainly a very, very emotional moment. So, you know, and BJ's back. BJ's back, he's out of retirement. And number 1, the Filipino wrecking machine, taking on my old countryman, he's still my countryman, I guess, still English, Luke Barnett. And Mark went out there, put on a clinic, his final fight in the Philippines, his home country. He dreamed of fighting there. He placed his gloves in the bottom of the octagon and said a tearful farewell to the sport, to the fans, to the organisation, and that was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing, and good on you, Mark.
That's a championship list right there.
That's a good list.
It's very championship. Yeah. That's because I am a champion. It's kind of the list I deliver these days.
All right. Well, here's a runner-up list. Okay, here we go.
This is the Rockhold list.
That's right. Number 5, Big Nog versus Mir 2. Now, these were 2 of the best submission artists from their respective organizations. Of course, Nog coming from Pride, and Mir coming from the UFC, and these guys had fought before. Mir won by knockout, but here it was a grappling fest. Nog was on his way to winning, and then he got his arm broken. I was there cage side calling the fight as a trial to become a commentator for the UFC, and I remember my jaw was just open. I could not believe it. It was a shocking loss, and just crazy. Now, number 4, we have Michael Bisping and Luke Rockhold. You should have seen us when we were watching this over in the studio. It was unbelievable. You know, when Mike was able to get not only the win over Luke Rockhold, become the champion, when he got the knockout win in the very first round, we all went nuts. It was unbelievable. Now, number 3, I had the same one. This was BJ Penn and Frankie Edgar 3. Frankie was so dominant in this 3rd fight and 3rd win over BJ Penn. And, you know, to see a legend like BJ get so dominated, and then to see him, you know, very emotional after fight, it was hard to see, because you felt that, you know, BJ probably shouldn't have taken this fight. He has, of course, unretired. Now, number 2, another one that I had, Anderson Silva at UFC 168. I've only seen it once. I'm looking away right now. I will not see that leg break again. It was insane. It was crazy. It was shocking. It was very emotional. That's my number 2.
It was shocking. Why did it celebrate it like it was a win? Carry on with you later.
All right, number 1. Ronda Rousey, when she lost to Holly Holm, this has to go down as perhaps the greatest upset in UFC history. And I don't know what it was when Holly started cheering, and you see her face, and she kind of unleashes this energy and kind of opens her arms, and she starts crying. I almost started crying when I saw this. It was so emotional to see her. Everyone thought that she was going to lose, and she went out there and won by knockout. Just one of the craziest moments in the sport.
I've been there.
Yeah.
That is a good list.
Yeah, it was just not too long ago. Yeah.
It's not about me.
Well, I want to thank Juan, because today's top 5 came from suggestion by Juan, and of course we want to give him a proper shout out and say thank you. And remember,
Big up yourself,
if you
Juan.
guys have an idea for our top 5, we want to hear from you. Send them to us. Use hashtag UFC Now. All right, we're going to take a break. But coming up next, we have our social media segment, Rapid Fire. You guys send in your questions. We will answer them. That's all next. Stick around.